pull up close to the TV. Boy, do I have a treat for you. I'm not going to tell you what part of this story is the treat, but you're my people, so you will figure it out. Suzanne, they're going to die.
Oh, no.
So, Mariah Carey. You know, she seems like the type, you know, a little wobbly. You know, she's so loose up here in her mind. Spare me your complaints, lambs, okay? Spare me. I'm still gonna talk. Sometimes, you know, I share stuff with you all, and then you don't really understand that it's not being mean. It's just me reporting the word to the curb. You understand? And every time we talk about Mariah Carey, you always have something to say to me. Oh, she's jealous. Oh, she's this. What? I'm here to report that Mariah Carey is a diva, and we've talked about this a lot, and I feel like it is a part of her act, you know, from the time that she wakes up, like it's a part of her act and stuff, but there comes a time when I think it's just too much. As a lamb, how do you feel about the story I'm about to tell?
It pains me to hear it. It somewhat entertains me a little bit, but it pains me to have to bring the story, but you know, we do what's out there.
Tommy Mottola was the one who discovered Mariah, molded her, and made her who she is today. So this is your fault, Tommy? I'm playing. Certainly she's an attractive girl, and she's very successful, but it's the ticky boom. It's the ticky boom boom thing. You know, she went from Idols. She went through, you know, her divorce announcement. She's went to Vegas, and she's still been messy, but the way her fans like her. I'm not going to take anything away from Mariah. You know, she is the voice, and she is a legend. Not becoming she is a legend. She is the queen of Christmas, correct? On her worst day, she sings better than them all. On one hand, I don't feel like she needs to make any more music. She's got such a body of work, and we all know the words to it, and I think that, you know, for a woman who's as fragile as she is, but, you know, she's fragile, and she's older, and she's not able to keep up musically with what these kids are, like, she's trying to battle in a Rihanna world, and it just hasn't worked for her. So why should she torture herself at 44 years old with her twins under her belt, still having some of her looks? This residency in Vegas, I think, is the perfect thing for Mariah, because you'll go, your parents will go, your kids will go. Like, Mariah is for everybody. On one hand, I don't want her making any more music because I don't feel like learning any more new songs. But on the other hand, I think it's fabulous that she's making more music because it'll just take her mind off her troubles. She thinks she's doing something by going to the studio and belting out stuff. And she'll probably call in some dusty rappers to do the one-twos. You know, she's going to be grasping at straws that a lot of people won't care about, and then she'll be very upset when she sees the music sales aren't what they should be. And you know, she's a little off balance. She doesn't need to be upset. She needs to be occupied, and that studio, I think, is where she needs to be. Now, she did have the elusive Chanteuse album, which was a flop by all standards. Only over a few 100,000 people. As a matter of fact, not a few, because that'd be 3 or more. Just over 100,000 people purchased the album, not even our main lamb on Hot Topic staff, who got it free on Spotify. In the meantime, I do believe you need to focus on your residency because this is your last train to Clarksville. If this residency in Vegas doesn't go well, you're done. But mark my word. No, wait, shout out to Kanye. Mark my word. I'll preface this by saying, for those of you who think that I don't like Mariah Carey, you're very, very wrong. Right, Lamb? Right. Now, Norman there at the podium is a 100% lamb. Have you ever been to his office? Suzanne, you know.
Yes, he's got a whole case of that Mariah Carey water.
She makes water?
Yes,
Yep.
some
Butterfly
weird
water.
potion something on his
What
desk.
is going on?
Butterfly water.
Butterfly. All All right, but the posters, he's like a schoolgirl over Mariah. Posters, pillowcases, water. I'm not a hater, you know that.
Right, I know.
But we have to talk.
We have to talk.
Mariah, I mean, I know that you are a stunt queen and that you will do anything for people to get talking about you. And so here we are talking. All right, so Mariah needs all attention on her at all times, and she's a nuisance. Just a real nuisance. A beautiful woman, very talented, but thank God we're not married to her. So, you know, Mariah Carey and Nick Cannon have been married for 5 years. I'll be the first one to remind you that I said I don't believe that they're actually married. I did not see in the very beginning. I know I'm not the only one. You didn't believe that they were really married either. Mariah made him probably more desirable to women. I remember, and I'll be the first one to tell you, when they first got married, I did not know what she was doing with this boy, because they only dated for like 6 weeks and then they got married. And I said, who does that? Oh, this is totally a stunt. And then remember when he got the Mariah tattoo on his back? I thought that was a makeup artist doing something to soothe her ego. But that's a real tattoo. First of all, I would never marry a guy who got a tattoo this damn big of me on his back. This is just me, you know, personally speaking. Like, that's a obsessed, like she's marrying the killer. I don't picture Mariah having a lot of sex. This is not my first time telling you this. I've never wavered on this. I see Mariah as a DT. What? You know what that is, Suzanne. Well, I'm not going through it. I'll tell you. Come here.
Oh, okay.
Don't you see her? A DT?
Yeah, she's a DT.
Well, no, look, let me show you the picture of her walking the dog in the snow. All right, show the picture of her, right? Like, I see her doing all that. I just don't see her putting out like that. I see Mariah as having maintenance sex. You know, that's that sex. Oh, get off me. Oh, okay, fine. Hurry up, get it over with. Stop sweating. I know she puts it out there that, you know, that she's a sexy woman, and she certainly is a sexy woman, but I picture, like, when the door closes to her house, get off me. Darling. You know, drinking champagne, having her splashes or whatever, teetering on her heels. Sweetie, darling, sweetie, darling. Sweetie, darling, sweetie, darling. She does like a sip, darling. I feel like all she does is sit in a bubble bath with 2 glasses of champagne. And the rest of the Magnum on the side of the bathtub. Extra splashes, darling. You know, sitting in the house, darling. Lady of the manor, darling. You know, she likes her splashes, darling. Another splash, darling. Yes, darling. 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 You know, Mariah's like, why am I even here? Darling. Darling. That princess out of touch with reality thing, darling. You know, it just, you're from Long Island. You have 80 hours of business school, for goodness sakes, or beauty school. You're not a real princess. And the idea that you are wealthy beyond belief, you're still just from Long Island, darling. Oh, this is gonna grow tired real quick. She needs to sit down and get an evaluation and then decide to give up a few of these, you know, darling diva demands and that kitschy cuckoo Disney life that she leads. I mean, you know, like when you're invited to her house, you know, she enters the room with theme music. I mean, it's a lot, and she's kooky, but I'm starting to understand why Nick fled the castle. And I'm sure that they play her music. I don't know this for fact, but I do know that when the twins were born, Nick was in there with the boombox, instructed to hit fantasy as soon as the heads. Listen. As soon as the heads started to crown, girls, you know what that is. Then hit it. You know, those things combined with a woman who has a history of being just a little ticky boom. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you remember back in 2001? Yeah. When she put on tight gold shorts and grabbed the Good Humor ice cream cart and wheeled it onto the set of TRL when Carson Daly was hosting? And then she started babbling incoherently, like even for the MTV kids, they're like, oh, look at Miss Mariah. What is she doing? My number one lamb on the staff, whose entire office is tricked out with Mariah stuff, even he said that he's starting to feel sorry for Nick. Yeah, that's my Norman. Yeah. Nick was a really good sport for going along with this mess, but you know, grown men, generally, I mean, you know, they'll entertain us and delight us maybe one time, but not all the time. Remember she went to Disney for that stupid Cinderella princess revowing? And then they redo their wedding vows every year, and there's always a lot of costumery going on with them, and it's just, and she always says she's eternally 12, so I get it. It looks like Nick Cannon has moved on from Mariah Carey. There they are strolling. And, you know, I think that him squiring around town, I don't know, there's rumors of him cheating throughout the marriage, so to me, he's just doing on the up high what he was probably doing on the down low. Just saying. My take is that he's mentally trying to torture her and realizes that it's real easy. I think that Nick is trying to torture a woman who is not necessarily mentally as stable as we would like her to be. Nick's role earlier in the marriage was like step and fetch. Step and fetch this. Step and do that. Bring me a straw for my, you know, drink. I don't want to mess up my lipstick. And he would dutifully do it. But allegedly, he became tired of being treated like a manservant as opposed to a husband. So, you know, Nick managed to escape, if you will, escape. And I just think that Mariah, the next best husband for her would be a young gay man. Sometimes people marry for companionship, though, because nobody wants to get old alone. But she needs somebody who's gonna, she needs to marry a lamb, like one of her super fans. But you know what? Even Norman said he doesn't want her because you have to be ready to worship. You know, she needs a worshiper, somebody who's going to worship her. After a while, that darling thing just gets old and tired, and it's got to give a guy a headache. I mean, for a week, it's cute. But when you wake up and you realize you married that... Personally speaking, I think Mariah needs a basket full of cats. Because until she changes her tune or finds the right man to put up with that, she will be the ultimate cat lady. We all saw her get on the treadmill on Cribs on MTV. We've all seen her sweetie darling routine that she does. You know, we've heard the rumors that she only likes her own music playing when she walks into venues and places and, you know, in her house. Is she marriage material? Is she the girl that you want to be friends with, or is she going to be that needy friend buzzing your phone all night long while you're trying to take care of your life? Mariah, that basket of cats is going to serve you well. So Nick was asked recently if they'd ever get back together, and he paused for a moment, and then he goes, "Never say never." I say he was being polite to the very fragile-minded mother of his twins. Now, I know that means, because I was asked in our morning meeting, Wendy, do you think that that's giving Mariah false hope that they might get back together? I said, no. Mariah knows what it is. You know, it's just like if your man said never say never to the press. You actually know what that is. You're never getting back with him, but at least he's being polite for the sake of the kids and my fragility, right? Now, if she would just get herself a little plaything, you know, like an older, I didn't say boyfriend, just a little something, something, you know, and then get out there and kill it in Vegas, she could virtually be back. I never knew that Mariah has this. Look, Mariah, we have something in common. And this right here, I'm gonna let her breathe because I feel sorry for her. I feel sorry for her. You know, she doesn't, I mean, vocally speaking, people have saying that, you know, her voice has not been the same place. Emotionally speaking, it looks like she probably needs a little bit of help. And, I mean, she's going through it emotionally. You know, the streets are talking, and then, of course, she just kicked off her world tour in Japan over the weekend. And I don't know whether you've heard about this. All right, there she is on stage, so clearly, you know, she hasn't gained a bunch of weight like was whispered. Now, we can't play the actual music because then we have to pay for it and it's not worth all that. Mariah sang like crap. And when I say she sang like crap, Suzanne, you sing better than Mariah based on the footage. I don't understand. I mean, yeah, she was singing like a rank amateur, so I guess, she's going through a lot with the press. The divorce is about to get really ugly and messy, but don't let it mess up the one thing that you've always had going for you, because Ariana Grande is someplace laughing now, Mariah. Get it together. Look, I'm just saying. This Ariana Grande diva story just has legs and it keeps going, and I think that she's the one who keeps it going. See, there's diva, and they're calling her a diva. There's diva, and then there's demanding, bratty diva, which is the kind that we don't like, and then there's diva like a Mariah Carey. Now, I've been around for a while, and Mariah's been around for a while. I've never heard that she is a nasty person. Her diva is a totally different thing, Like her assistant carries around a bottle of, allegedly, a bottle of ginger ale, except they say that's not ginger ale in the bottle. Allegedly. But she doesn't say, ginger ale, now! You understand what I'm saying? Like, there's mean-spirited diva, which they're pegging this Grande girl to be, and then there's a diva in a kitschy, coochie kind of way. I miss Mariah Carey returning to the stage, but everybody gave her 10s across the board after canceling her Vegas show. And while Mariah was performing, they did shoot the camera to Jennifer Lopez. No word on, was Jennifer giving the screw face?
She was just...
Oh, okay. 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 On a side note, you know how Mariah shades all other R&B girls? Like you say something about Jennifer Lopez, she says who? Okay, remember when Mariah famously threw shade at Jennifer 14 years ago when she was asked about Beyonce? Mariah said, oh my gosh, she's beautiful, she's talented, she's gorgeous, she's all that. And then the same reporter said, and what about Jennifer Lopez? And that's when Mariah famously said, I don't know her. Well, that was 14 years ago, okay. So last week when Jennifer was here on our show, Jennifer addressed the comment, just take a look.
I didn't see Mariah because at the time she wasn't playing. She hadn't started yet.
Who?
But I saw Britney, I saw Shania.
No, I'm playing because that's what Mariah said about Jennifer one time. I'm not trying to start anything.
She does say that.
Yeah, she does.
She's forgetful, I guess.
Yes.
I don't know. We've met many times.
And then I whispered something shady to Jen when we went to commercial break. And Jen goes, why didn't you say that when the camera was rolling? I was like, nope, I'm not getting involved. Mariah must be watching. And TMZ caught up with Mariah. And she shaded Jennifer all over again. Take a look.
Hi, how are you?
How are you?
You look so amazing.
Oh, you're so sweet.
What do you think about people still referencing I don't know her all these years later?
I still don't know her.
This is like an old school, I hate the word diva, but an old school diva fight where it doesn't end up like these kids fight today. You know what I mean? As a matter of fact, the kids today can take a lesson. But I do suspect that in about 10 years, they're gonna get back together, these two. And they will do like a Vegas thing or something like that. In the name of diva-dom and a show, darling. I mean, wouldn't you go to that? I'm already applying for the job as the opening act. I'll do my stand-up. I'll tell you private part jokes and make you laugh, and then I'll introduce this relationship with Mariah Carey and Jennifer Lopez. Well, Mariah won't let it stop. So Mariah just posted a video or a picture with one of her lambs holding a sign that says, so is that cute, cheeky shade, or is this a grown woman who just needs to let it go? Like, stop, we get it. I think she should just let it go because it just makes her seem like 5 years old, you know, regarding that, you know. Mariah Carey has a new man. At least that's what she wants you to believe. Because I know what I believe. But first I'll give the story, and then I always come with an opinion. The pictures have been released, and we've paid at least a pair of good Louboutins worth. What was it? Almost $2,000 worth of pictures?
Yep.
So everybody, come to your TV, you're gonna look at this, okay? Okay? It's part of my shoe budget, okay? Look, I thought I had a weak back. Look, Tony Dovolani on Dancing with the Stars held me up, and I'm big. Held my big ass up better than, like, what the hell? Now, I'm sorry, Mariah, for talking aggressive, but I'm mad at you because not even the Lamb Confidentials could defend you, correct?
You know what?
Talk how you talked this morning.
I love my queen, but these pictures are a little indefensible.
If Tony gave me one of these, I might have looked more graceful. Like, what the hell? What, Mariah? Mariah. Tragic. I don't believe this romance. I think that Mariah she's gone from being really cute and really fun to being desperate and worrisome. Like, you know, like, I mean, I don't worry about her. I got my own problems. I certainly don't have any worries for a 500 millionaires, but I do have my concerns when I do Hot Topics here, you know, for our particular stars, you know, some of the ones that we really love and everything, and you kind of see things going on and it's just not right. Like, Mariah, I don't believe this romance for a moment. So last week, here they are, having a romantic dinner of some sorts in Beverly Hills. All right, let me explain the scene. First of all, who's taking the staged picture? Number one. Number two, this is Nobu. Nobu, right, Norm?
That one is Wolfgang Puck's.
Same difference.
Yeah, exactly.
A fancy, popular celebrity haunt in Beverly Hills. Yeah. Look, she made sure she sat on the right side of the couch so that her right side of her face was done. You know, she's funny about which side you photograph and everything. This is so corny. Mariah, you just want a pet on the head and some attention. Mariah wants to give the fans something to talk about, you know, so here she is on Hot Topics, and we feed the beast here on Hot Topics. We know what you want, Mariah, and we're here to give it to you. Make your new life with your desperate splashes. How awkward is this? Like, dude doesn't look comfortable with a girl. Suzanne, stop.
Okay. No, I'm not laughing.
Don't do that to me.
Okay, I'll stop.
Okay.
No more laughing.
He doesn't look comfortable, though, right?
Oh, no.
Anyway, soon after we talked on Hot Topics, yesterday, Nick posted the following picture of him carrying Mariah, saying, "This is how you do it." Mariah, you hang in there. Nick, you be easy on your girl. And Brian with a Y, bye. All right, her fans, and obviously you're not fans, they were less than impressed because all she did was stand and she couldn't walk without being escorted. They said it seemed like she was lazy. There's Brian Tanaka, her man posing as her boyfriend. Yeah, you know that guy. We talked about him. Her background dancer. I love the hair. You know, I love a bouffant. And I don't much care. I'm allergic to walking.
I loved it.
I would have loved it if I saw it.
I loved it.
I don't mind it.
Right, I don't mind it
I
either.
always say this. You can lip sync. Just give me when you're an artist, give me a good costume, give me good hair. You can lip sync all you want. Just strut back and forth. You don't have to do the most if you don't want to. Mariah hates to walk. Well, let me tell you something. I'm glad that I have the ability to walk. But if I could get a piggyback ride every place, I'm fine. So her team jerry-rigged a chair to roll her through her Vegas hotel lobby. Look, she's reapplying makeup. Yes. Honey, let me tell you something. Number one, you know, the lobby of the Motel 6 is not gigantic, so you can walk. But the lobby of fancy Vegas hotels, the lobbies are so big. Aren't they so big? Like, literally, I do my own walking, but I always walk in the flats. So much goes on in one day. Sometimes I forget about some of the shameless things that I've done. But I was reminded, thanks to Hot Topics, that apparently Mariah and I have this in common. They reminded me that this is from June 2015. On the after show. Take a look.
Oh, wow, look. Oh, Joe, you're spoiled now.
Let's get started. It's time for Hot Topics. This is how I want to come out of the
We're going to open the doors on Monday with you.
Oh my God. Oh, bye, everyone. Bye. Silly, silly show. Oh, Mariah. What a diva. I always want to have diva demands, but I just can't get myself to do it. Do you know what I mean? Like, demand stuff. They'll tell you here at the show, I don't do that. You don't have to pipe up, Suzanne. I mean, I want to demand junk, but it's just not in my regular old girl from Jersey way. And I like it this way. Although, it is fun to read about people like Mariah, but I would imagine she wouldn't be so much fun to work for or be married to. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, but it's cute for like 48 hours or a drive-by or a hookup.